The UN General Assembly's third committee, which deals with human rights, has taken up this issue. As I said, 51 countries have signed this joint declaration. Nations like Canada, Germany, France, Japan, United States, United Kingdom and others have signed this particular move that we are talking about, and it's an interesting one to talk about, because keeping in mind China's proximity with countries like Pakistan and the fact that the Chinese have been indulging in illegal detentions, violations of human rights, this becomes a burning issue for the United Nations as well. Let me cut across to our managing editor Anand Narasimhan. He's with us on the broadcast to give us more perspective. The cause of Uighur Muslims, Anand, must be spoken about, and now the United Nations has taken it up.
Well, the pressure is being built on China, which is actually for a long time sitting as the chair of the UNHRC. And nobody questioned about the rights of the Uyghurs in what is East Turkestan, or what the Chinese call as the new territory, or Xinjiang.
Yeah.
Nearly 3 million Uyghurs we are given to understand. That's the unconfirmed number, although the CCP outrightly denies these numbers and the PLA denies these numbers. But the kind of claims that have been made by the Uyghur Congress was taken into cognizance even by the Biden administration, and now 51 nations have become signatories to this aspect, to this entire document, which will now be presented and raised at the UN, and China will be brought to account. Now there is satellite imagery, if you were to go by what the Uyghur Congress actually claims, and we are hopeful that we should have somebody from the Uyghur Congress joining us here on your broadcast. But more importantly, on the Nation at 5, but more importantly, their claim is that more than 15,000 establishments and places, satellite imagery confirms, have been roughshod by the PLA. Places of worship have been converted into places of sanitation and health and public toilets, etc. Places of prayer have been converted and they've been deliberately taken away, and people are still being kept in concentration camps. Here on CNN News 18, multiple such people who have lost, whose parents, mothers, sisters, some family member is in a concentration camp, and they have had to flee China, and they are settled in some other nation. We had people joining us from Turkey, from Europe, who have come out and said that this is the heights that a nation like this is able to get away with such a huge amount of persecution. China, on the other hand, raises the issue of the ETIM as a terrorist outfit which is operating out of Afghanistan, and one of the pincers on the Taliban is that they have to act against the ETIM from officiating or acting on what China claims is its soil, which is actually Uighur territory or East Turkestan. So that's China's position, that ETIM is a terrorist outfit, but it tries to broad brush all that it is doing with the Uyghur people. Now with 51 nations becoming signatories, this is not going to be easy for China to just wash away or wish away.
I can't help but talk about a country like Pakistan, which has such close proximity to the Chinese and has always skirted the issue and cause of Uyghur Muslims. Now, with about 51 nations, as you pointed out, taking up this issue, the question somewhere is also on Pakistan.
Pakistan itself has a sorry record of treating not just minorities but even Muslims and non-Sunni. So they have a problem with Shias, they have a problem with Ismailis, Sufi, Ahmadiyas, that they don't even consider as Muslims. So that's what they have done. Their own, Muhammad Ali Jinnah was a Shia, but it's not mentioned, and he was given a Sunni burial. So that's the kind of level of bigotry that is expected. So for them to call themselves as champions of the Muslim cause or Islamic world is very rich coming from Pakistan. The other thing is that Pakistan has been caught as a vassal state of the Chinese since 1971, when the Chinese gave them a treasure trove or a treasure chest to try and just slice off the rest of northeast of India and to try and control all of those positions. They gave them warplanes. So Chinese have been active on Pakistani soil for a long time, and they played this dangerous game. Now reports are suggesting that Pakistan has actually pledged 2 islands of the coast of Karachi, Badal and Bundu Islands, to the Chinese, and the Chinese naval ships can dock in that region. China is wanting boots on ground in Pakistan because they don't trust the Pakistanis. So, and they've literally taken over all of CPEC, territory that doesn't belong to Pakistan. Pakistan has actually signed away to the Chinese. So it's a different level itself. They can't even say anything else but bow down to the Chinese, because beyond that the Pakistan state cannot say anything to the Chinese. So to expect Pakistan to stand up for the cause of Uyghur Muslims is itself too much in terms of wishing.
Yes.
Too much to expect. Plus the hypocrisy stands. Because you ask the Pakistanis about Uyghur Muslims and the only thing they will talk is Kashmir. So they have nothing else to say because they have a poor record at home and they have a poor record in terms of standing up for the right causes. And Pakistan, which is Baloch are Muslims. And since October 1947, Pakistan has been running roughshod over Balochistan. So they themselves have a lot of questions to answer. So,
even internally, even from the Baloch activists.
So that is quite rich coming from the Pakistanis, and you can't expect much from the establishment there because they are dealing with a lot of issues themselves. But China, on the other hand, now will be pushed because from multiple corners in terms of how they are handling human rights, and this demographic genocide argument and allegation is a serious one because the Tibetans are making it. It's been made as far as the inner Manchurian region is concerned because the Manchurians are no longer around, and now that entire Manchu state has been now converted into Han population, and they are trying to do the same thing in this new territory or Xinjiang.